Okay, let me double check if my microphone is on because I just recorded the entire video and you couldn't hear anything I said. So let's try this again, shall we? Namaste and welcome back to Always Ascend podcast. My name is Guru Kalamatiji and I'm here to be your spiritual guide. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get back into it, okay? All right, so hopefully you can hear me this time. Episode 3, Loving the Inner Demon. Here's your quote. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's the part of you that kept you alive when no one else showed up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so loving the inner demon. Guru, what are you talking about? What do you mean by some inner demon? I am talking about the part of you that has not been healed. You have anger, you have these moments of frustration, lack of trust, you are irritable. That inner demon within you that is causing you to have all this friction between your family, friends, jobs, lovers, etc., etc. That's the issue we're talking about. That's the emotion that we're picking up on today, okay? By the way, this is your safe space to come and talk about your problems and the things that you're struggling with. I want you to grow, heal, and be free. That's what I created this podcast for. In each episode, we do explore a spiritual mindset to help you rise. If you do like deeper connections and you want a deeper connection, join me on Patreon. The link is in my bio or down in the description as well. Okay, let's get into the actual topic. So, we're facing you the part, that's how you know I'm tired. We're facing the part of you most people are scared to look at, your inner demon. That version of you that's angry, sharp, manipulative, jealous, bitter, or spiteful. Whatever form that it takes and comes out of you, it's coming from your inner pain that you have not healed. This deserves truth and not to be shamed. Okay, here are 3 reasons why it matters. Number 1, you cannot heal what you continue to disown. So anything that's happening in your life and you're just like, I'm going to ignore that. That's why you keep having the same problem. Number 2, shadow denial turns into self sabotage. So if you don't recognize that you do have these shadows and these demons that are causing you to have these sharp, angry, manipulative, jealous, bitter kind of reactions to anything you're going through, and you're denying that you have problems and you're denying that you're having a struggle, that's why you're going through that back and forth within that moment. Loving your inner demon is how you finally take your power back. Number 3. So, when you acknowledge that you are having moments where you're not sure how to handle your emotions, this is how we start to get into the better version of ourselves. Because this is called self awareness. This is also called shadow work. But shadow work is a totally different episode. We're just talking about the demons that we have within ourselves and how can we learn to love the broken parts of ourselves and how can we learn how to be happy with ourselves again. This is what we're talking about here. Here are your 3 soul keys, okay? Your demon, your demon is just your wounded protector, your heart. It showed up when you were powerless and learned how to bite, scream, and isolate so you could survive. But survival mode is not the same as healing, okay? It's time to evolve. So, when you're in survival mode and you're on the defense all the time, right? And anything somebody says to you, you're like, no, don't want to hear. Da, 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 da. And it's like, okay, I understand you're upset, but why are you upset? What is the reason for you being upset? Also, something that I just realized just sparked in my spirit right now, triggers. You may know what I'm talking about when I say the word triggers. If something is triggering you, if something is like sparking you and irritating you, you're like immediately by somebody saying something, you're off the rip. That's what we're trying to get healed. That's what we're trying to figure out. So the what is the trigger, and why is this trigger so predominant in your life to the point where no matter what people say to you, you're still flying off the handle? Does that make sense exactly what I'm explaining? Okay. Let's get on to number 2. Let's get up to number 2 because I'm going to explain a little bit deeper. Hiding your shadow gives it more power. Hiding your demon, your shadow, gives it more power to control your life. The more you pretend it's not there, the more you pretend your problems aren't there, the more you pretend this pain that you have in your heart doesn't exist, or you push it down or you ignore it, the louder it gets, the worse it gets. It doesn't need to actually be fixed. It just needs to be heard and healed. Okay? Heard and healed. So with this moment, when you're having these like demon like emotions where you're just kind of like flying off the handle, you need to kind of like take a moment and step back and say, well, why do I feel this way? Right? Why do I feel this way? What is causing me to feel the emotion that I'm feeling? And is the emotion that I'm feeling valid? Is it valid? Because if it's not valid and I'm just angry without having an explanation of being angry, then I need to do some research within myself, within my heart, and understand why I feel the way I feel. What is causing me to feel the way I feel? Is this making sense what I'm saying to you? Okay. You need to figure out what that trigger or that demon or that emotion is so you can heal it and move forward. Okay, number 3, loving your inner demon doesn't mean letting it lead. It means saying that I can see you, I honor you, but you don't drive me anymore. Okay. I see you, I honor you, but you're not driving my spirit anymore. I'm choosing my spirit. I'm choosing how I want to move forward and live my life. I'm not going to allow this situation or this premise or this connection or whatever it is, could be friends, family, lovers, jobs. I don't care what it is. You'll hear me say that multiple times in multiple videos. I don't care what the situation is, what title you give it, what connection it is. The problem becomes, if I'm struggling with my emotions, where do I go, or where do I go inside myself to look at them in the aspect and put them in front of myself and look at them and say, okay, this is the emotion. Here's when it happened. Here's why it happened. And this is what I think I need to do in order to me for me to heal it. You need to heal it, right? You're not hating it. You're not like, because I feel like there's somebody out there that may misinterpret what I'm explaining. So spirit is telling me to explain a little bit deeper. I'm not telling you to hate yourself, and I'm not telling you to be angry at yourself for your emotions. I'm telling you to recognize the emotions and why they're controlling your life. Do you hear what I'm saying? Recognize your emotions and ask yourself, why is this controlling my life to the point where I can't interact with people, to the point where I'm triggered consistently? What is that? What is happening for that to happen to you? Okay, so Spirit's asking me to give you an example because somebody out there may not fully understand what I'm saying to you. When I was going through all of my struggles in my life, at the lowest point of my life, like when I was really, really struggling, I used to hate everything and everybody, everyone, including myself. I couldn't look in the mirror long enough, more than a few seconds, because that's how angry I was. And that's how emotionally unbalanced I also was. So, in having those moments where people would say something to me and I'd be like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? What do you mean? And I'm flying off the handle before I even heard any of the sentence that they said. I was so emotionally damaged. I didn't have the capacity to step back out of my own anger and ask myself, well, why am I angry? I'm not even listening to what this person is saying to me. I'm just angry. Is that starting to like click with you, right? Is that starting to make sense of what I'm explaining? I hope it does. So I want you to start kind of like knocking this out. Like, okay, well, what is this? Like, what is the reason? What is the issue that I'm having? I also always recommend therapy. I'm not a therapist, I'm a yoga teacher. I've just been to therapy for 5 years straight. So I have some kind of connaissance and some context of my emotions and my thoughts because I was in therapy for so long. But again, if I didn't go to therapy, if I didn't learn to heal my inner demon, if I didn't do any of this, I wouldn't be able to be your teacher either. I had to also go through the same experiences to be there for you. So I know what you're talking about when you say these things. All right. Let me give you your oracle pull and your journal prompt. Let's get into that. One more shake for good luck. Card 3.3 of Dark, the Thorn. Your revelation, it's called the removal. Facing the pain, pulling it out with care, healing the space beneath it. Mm. Here's your clarity, right? It hurts to face our problems, right? It hurts to face our problems because the problems are pain. So it hurts to even talk about this topic. It hurts to even communicate with someone about why you're feeling the way you feel. But it hurts you in the long run if you avoid it forever. Have you ever met somebody? The spirit's telling me to tell you this. Have you ever met somebody who's way older than you and they're just angry all day, all the time for no reason? Doesn't matter what you say to them, they're just an angry person. I've met people like that in my life. And I'm like, you're twice my age and you don't know how to like just have a normal conversation without flying off the handle, which tells me that you haven't healed your demons, which tells me that you've never talked to somebody about your triggers and your childhood trauma, and you've never talked to anybody about that one situation that keeps you on edge from the entire world. So this is why healing and loving our inner demon is important, because it gives us the concept to say, I don't want to be old and bitter for the rest of my life. I need to figure out how I can be as peaceful as I possibly can within the pain that I feel, because the pain is valid. But how can I be as peaceful as I possibly can so I can move forward in a just a calm manner? Like, the older you get, the less you want to argue with people. The older you get, the more you just want to be like, I just want to live my life. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to fuss and fight with you. I don't want to have to go back and forth with you all day. I don't feel like doing that. I'm just trying to get to the point in my life where I can just sit down and be like, woosah. Woosah. All right? I want to give you your mantra because I don't want to take too much of your time. I pull the pain not to bleed, but to breathe. I pull the pain not to bleed, but to breathe. Also, healing doesn't erase what happened. Healing doesn't erase what happened to you. It frees you from the hold. Okay? Then it no longer controls you. Then it no longer controls you. Here's your question, your journal prompt. What hurt are you finally ready to release from your body, mind, and your story? Also your soul. But again, what hurt are you finally ready to release from your body, mind, your story, and your soul? What is that hurt? What is that pain that you're ready to let go? Let's conquer it. Let me give you your blessing. May your shadow be a friend. May your demons learn your name and soften. And may you find your peace in the parts you once feared. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me again today. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm so grateful to even have you in this space with me. What part of this sparked your soul? What part of this entire episode sparked your soul? Or what gave you like an aha moment, right? Because that's what I'm looking for. Also, is there a topic or a question that you want to talk about? I have plenty that I can go over with you and we can discuss in our community. I want you to drop it in the comments and I may answer in another episode. But until then, I want you to breathe, trust, and always ascend. Namaste.